Hey honey buns, today I'm sharing 5 reasons why I prefer to rent a hostel versus renting an apartment if I'm staying in a new country long term. If you guys are interested, keep watching. Welcome to my channel. I'm the Courtney Williams. If you're new here, my channel is meant to document my journey as a makeup artist traveling around the world with the hopes to inspire you guys to follow your own dreams and walk your own journey. So as you guys know, I'm currently in Ho Chi Minh City. I moved here about a month ago from Hanoi. So yes, I left my really cute apartment and I left my really nice bathtub, and I really kind of miss that bathtub, but I have no regrets. And honestly, I was thinking, you know, once I moved to Ho Chi Minh City, got settled a bit, found a job, really found my bearings, that I would eventually get an apartment here as well. But honestly, as time passes, I'm starting to see some benefits of living in a hostel or homestay long term that really kind of align with my financial goals for the year. So I wanted to share 5 reasons as to why I prefer to live in a hostel or rent a hostel versus renting an apartment for a long time stay in a country. So let's jump on in. Number 1, it is cheaper monthly to rent a hostel versus renting an apartment. And this is only because throughout Vietnam, it's so easy to find a hostel or even a homestay for $5 a night. I mean, somewhere that you feel comfortable, somewhere that's clean, which actually only calculates to a good $150 a month. I mean, where in America can you find accommodations for so cheap? Like where? It's like nowhere that I could tell you. Now granted, this time around in Ho Chi Minh City, I did decide to pay a little bit more, only because coming from having like my own place in Hanoi, I did feel like I needed some extra comfort. I needed a few extra amenities. So my homestay this time around is only $240 a month, which still is very inexpensive and still very budget friendly. Now if you did want to have like a few extra discounts added, you could tell the management when you first check in, hey, I'm going to be staying long term, do you offer any discounts? Oftentimes they will offer anywhere from additional 5% to up to sometimes 15%, just depending on the place and where you're staying and how long you're going to be staying, only because, you know, it's better for a hostel or a homestay to have long-term stayers, because this guarantees a consistent flow of coinage. Whereas normally if people are booking, they normally book from like, you know, a few days or just one day, which kind of makes things fluctuate a bit. So don't forget to ask about those discounts when you're staying. Number 2, you only have to pay when you're actually staying there. So if you are in Vietnam and you decide to hop over to Cambodia, Thailand, Bali, which is beautiful, you don't have to worry about paying. Like for instance, next weekend I'm going to be hopping over to Quest Fest in Hanoi, which actually is outside of Hanoi. So make sure you guys are following my Insta stories to stay up to date on what I'm doing, because it's going to be so lit. But during those 3 days that I won't be here, I won't be paying to stay here. Now you do have to keep in mind, a lot of times if you're staying in a hostel or a homestay and you do decide to leave for a few days, you will have to like pack up your bags, but a lot of times they do have a place where you can store your things, so you don't have to worry about lugging everything along with you no matter where you're going. Number 3, you don't have to worry about paying a deposit or a huge chunk of money up front. The great thing about hostels and homestays in Vietnam is that a lot of times they prefer you to pay at the end of your stay, which granted I paid like 2 months in advance when I first got here, just because, you know, a part of my budget journey, I like to pay for what I need to pay for up front so I don't spend it. But you know, you don't have to worry about paying deposits. You don't have to worry about really paying any chunk of change up front if you don't have it or if you don't want to, or whatever your preference is, because anybody who has ever had an apartment, whether you're abroad or not, oftentimes you have to pay, you know, your rent plus a good 2 to 3 months in addition, just for deposits, security, and all other kind of fees. So all of that, if you stay in a hostel, you don't have to worry about that, or if you stay in a homestay. Number 4, you don't have to worry about any overhead bills. Like whenever you have an apartment, oftentimes you do have cable bill, you have internet bill, you have a light bill, you got a water bill. If you're staying in a hostel or a homestay, you don't have any of those bills. Like, everything is already included in the price for the night that you're gonna pay for the month. So that is also a great benefit of staying in a hostel or a homestay long term. Last but not least, book you a hostel or a homestay that has breakfast included. The homestay that I'm staying at now has breakfast included. So what does that mean? During the mornings, I don't have to worry about buying breakfast, which is a great benefit, because then that means, like, you know, I have more money to put towards other things, and that, you know, breakfast adds up sometimes. So yes. All right, honey bun, so this is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my 5 reasons why I prefer to rent a hostel or a homestay versus renting an apartment for a long-term stay in a new country. Oh my god, that was a mouthful, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless, because there's definitely benefits and other ways for you to get around your budget no matter where you are outside of your home country, especially if you're traveling through Asia. If you guys have any questions, drop it down below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, people will stare, make it worth their while. And I'll see you guys later.